Welcome everybody in today's edition of ESPN FC Extra Time. Frank Leboeuf, Alain Moreno with you. We've got your questions off of Twitter. Chuck asked the first one. Who has the better defense, Paris or Munich? Also ask Monsieur Leboeuf if he will back off Neymar if he fires PSG to a Champions League title. What do you say, Frank?
Well, first I just want to tell you that we say monsieur, not monsieur. You know, just to teach you a little bit of French. Just to make sure. Just, it's your day. It's your day with me today. Monsieur. That's it. Monsieur. Now for your question. Yes, I'm going to back up Neymar, and I'm going to say that he's a fantastic player if he scores 2 goals and give the silverware to Paris Saint-Germain. Of course, but I already know that he's a fantastic player. Now I want him to be a killer that he hasn't been since the quarterfinal and until the final 8, in fact. So Paris has a better defense. I think they have the best defense in the Champions League, or maybe the best defense in the final 8. But they have a much better defense for me than Bayern Munich. But now it doesn't mean anything. You just have to prove it on Sunday.
Merci, monsieur.
That's good. Very good.
It's acceptable.
Well,
you're fine.
Almost.
For my next trip to Paris. Frank, Jose Mourinho said that if PSG doesn't win the Champions League, it'll be a failure. Do you agree?
No, it's not a failure because they are facing the best team in the world right now, and Bayern Munich showed to the world that they're really the favorites. And finally, Paris Saint-Germain goes to a final and goes further than the quarterfinal, which Manchester City didn't because Mr. Guardiola couldn't go further than the quarterfinal. I think they go better. They're better than last year and the years before. So it's a good step forward. I wish them to win, but if they don't win, no, it's not a failure. That will be a normal result. I think Bayern again, and we all agreed with that, are the favorites. So it's just fair if they lose.
A little more context there on the Mourinho quotes. He said the last 2 years were failures based on all the investment that PSG has made. They've obviously made the investment this year as well. Ale, would you think it's a failure if they don't get it done this year?
I wouldn't call it a failure, but certainly it would be a wasted opportunity in that you're looking at a team in a unique circumstance like the ones that we have right now in the world, and you've been able to generate momentum in this final 8, and you've played as well as you have, and you've created the opportunities that you have, and Neymar has been outstanding. And so now you're here in the final, and the chance is right here in front of you. So you didn't have to play 2-legged affairs. You didn't have to travel here and there and everywhere. You've been focused and concentrating in your job right there in Lisbon, in Portugal. And so, to me, it set up perfectly for PSG to go ahead and win this thing. And so, while it may not be a failure per se, it certainly would be a wasted golden royal opportunity.
Ale, next question for you as well. Will Bayern prefer Pavard as right back, given he's better defensively and knows Mbappe better?
Well, it's something to consider if you're Hansi Flick, and I think if Pavard had some more time to recover from his injury and he had some more game time under him, maybe that's something that you actually try if you're Hansi Flick. The problem is the knock-on effect of this. So if you bring Pavard in, that means that you're going to have to move Kimmich back into the midfield. And so then you're going to have to take somebody out of the midfield. And we have seen outstanding performances from both Goretzka and Thiago Alcantara. And so what do you do there? It's not just the one change that you're making and right back. It's all the changes that then you're going to have to make through the midfield. And so I think if you're Hansi Flick, you just ride the momentum that you have so far. You're coming off 2 very dominant performances. I think you trust the team that you have on the field and believe that this team is good enough to beat PSG.
Great either-or question for our next entry. Who would you rather have in your team, Alphonso Davies or Andy Robertson? Frank?
Wow. It's like choosing between your mother and your father. They're absolutely outstanding. I would say this season, I would say Davies. I mean, it's a new face. We didn't know him. It's a real surprise. Robertson have shown the year before with the Champions League campaign that is a fantastic left back. But we discovered Davies, so you know it's like a new news, and you want to step on that. So I would say Davies.
Not a wrong choice here, huh? Ale, who would you take?
I'm taking Alphonso Davies because there is no substitute for speed and pace and athleticism. And while Andy Robertson does a lot of great things and has been outstanding for Liverpool, there is an element that Alphonso Davies brings to the game that cannot be matched. Not only what he does offensively and the mismatches that he creates offensively, but how much recovery speed there is defensively as well, which allows Bayern Munich to play a high line because this guy can make up the ground. This guy can cover the spaces that they're leaving behind because of that speed. I think Alphonso Davies has had an outstanding year, even better than I think any of the biggest Bayern Munich supporters would have hoped for. What they have seen out of this player is that he has quickly become perhaps the best left back in the world.
Gentlemen, Thiago Silva today linked with Chelsea, of course, playing out his contract at PSG is the subject of our next question. If Thiago Silva signs for Chelsea, will he be an upgrade over their existing center backs, especially if Chelsea are looking to mount a challenge for the title? Frank?
I think it would be a very good idea to get Thiago Silva. He's still fit and he can serve Chelsea very well because of his experience. And Chelsea desperately need a defense. So I don't know if he's gonna be that helpful that he can challenge City and Liverpool. I still doubt about it. But they will have a better defense, and if they can have a better defense, I'm going to be very pleased. I think Liverpool and City are still so much ahead if we compare the qualities of all the players, that is still difficult to say that one player is going to change everything. Now, having Ziyech, Werner, Havertz, Thiago Silva, maybe I don't know, Regalan, I think it's his name. Maybe it's going to change the shape of Chelsea, and then maybe they're going to be able to compete against City or Liverpool. But not only one player can change a team.
Speaking of central defense, Ale, is there still any meaning left to keep Gerard Pique in defense for Barcelona?
Is there any meaning left in keeping Pique? Yes. I don't think Barcelona is in a position right now to say to Gerard Pique, yeah, there's a door, go ahead and walk right through that. I think he's still a good player. I think he, at times, was the best defender that Barcelona had. But really, to be quite honest with you, he may have just been the only defender that Barcelona had. I think right now Barcelona is such in a difficult position because you're trying to do a rebuild, but in order to do a rebuild, you have to bring in new players. Well, how do you bring in new players if you don't have the money to do so? And then the talent coming from the academy is not what it has been in the past. And so you're trying to chase certain things that I don't know you're going to be able to catch up to because you simply financially don't have the funds in order to do that. And in that process of a rebuild, in that process of uncertainty, you don't just let go of an important piece like Gerard Pique. There are other pieces around that team that you maybe say, yeah, that's enough of that. But Pique, I don't think is one of those guys. I think you hang on to Pique, even if he's running his mouth and he's telling you, well, if I'm not the guy, then just let me go. You know what, Pique? Nobody's going to go put their arms around you and tell you, stay, please, Gerard, stay. Look, this is a business. And if you're Barcelona, you tell Pique, you're part of this group. We think you're an important part of this group. And you better be here mentally and physically because we're going to need you in order to be successful.
Frank, what do you think? How much longer does Pique have at the Barcelona, the elite level?
Hopefully for him, maybe 2 other years. But I think he served the club very well.
Hopeful.
I think. We are, of course, because nobody knows. We are talking about human beings, and we don't know how and when they're gonna step out and not being at the right rhythm that is demanding. So now saying that, I think people have been very harsh on Pique. He's done the job. He's not the best defender in the world. He's not the fastest guy in the world. But you have to find, when you're a coach, the right balance in defense. So meaning that you have to have somebody who maybe is more technical and the other one is more like a dog. And when he was playing with Puyol, they were making the perfect defense. And it's like Varane with Ramos. When Ramos is not there, you know, Varane is struggling. That's the same thing. If I would have played with Laurent Blanc alongside, it would have been a problem. But I played with Marcel Desailly, and Laurent Blanc was playing with Marcel Desailly. There is a reason why we know coaches make choices, because some pairs don't work, and some other are perfectly matched. So that's what it is about the central defense in Barcelona. I think they put Umtiti or especially Langley and Piqué, and I think it doesn't work. They have to choose between the two and put a real dog, a real defender like Ramos, who's never going to go to Barcelona, but to have a perfect match.
All right, Frank, final question for you as well. Would Gabriel Magalhães be a good fit at Arsenal and possibly strengthen their defense? How impressive has he been in his time with Lille? A little more context there. Apparently, it agreed to terms with Arsenal, then was having second thoughts. Manchester United reportedly might be coming in. What do you think, Frank? Good fit for Arsenal?
He's a very good player. He's a very good player, and he has the quality to do something to Arsenal. But I was told that he's delaying his answer because he's waiting for Manchester United to come over. So does he really want to come to Arsenal? I don't know that. Definitely, Arsenal needs to restrain their defense, and he's the kind of player who can improve and do well to the Gunners' defense. So if they do so, if he signs, I wish him the best, because he's a good defender, somebody that I really like. I'm very concerned about Lille, by the way, because they are losing so many players and they're going to struggle next season in Ligue 1.
Don't you worry, they signed a young Mexican kid, so he should take care of all of their problems. Pisuto, remember the name. Okay.
Here we go. Somehow, you got that in. Are you kidding me?
All right, let's leave it there for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Plenty more ESPN FC on your screens, building up to the Champions League final on Sunday.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.